Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make bakso sapi or meatballs. Don't get confused with Italian meatballs or the meatballs that you find in spaghetti. This is totally different. This is more like Asian style or Indonesian style meatballs. The meatballs that you see in a soup or in a stir fry. I made it a few times and then my family really liked it, and then they requested me to make the video. The traditional way how people in Indonesia make these meatballs, they use fresh beef, fresh meat, but of course I simplify everything here, so I'm using a ground beef. And to make these meatballs, you will need food processor. Alright, so like I said that I'm using a ground beef. So I'm using a 92% lean ground beef, and also ice cube or crushed ice, tapioca starch, okay, not all-purpose flour, tapioca starch, and the seasonings which are fried shallot, fried garlic, sugar, baking powder, salt, and white pepper. Okay, I also will need egg white from 1 egg. Okay, and like I said before, we're gonna need to use food processor. All right, so the first thing I'm going to put half of the ground beef into the food processor. Okay, start with half. I'm using 1 pound of ground beef, 2 tablespoons of bawang goreng or fried shallot, okay, and 1 fried garlic. See, if you want to make it fresh, go ahead. But this is save my time. Okay, so then we are going to process these 3 things together first. Okay, okay, you want to mix it until they are blended together, and then we're gonna add half of the ice cubes. Okay, I'm using like 75 grams ice cubes. So the reason why I'm using the ice cubes is because while you process this meat, we want to process it until it reach a very smooth texture. So it's gonna make the ground meat or ground beef is getting hot. So in order to stop it from being too hot and it's gonna break the protein in the meat, we need to add the ice cubes. Okay. I forgot to add the rest of the beef. So let's just add the rest of the beef. And then I'm gonna add the tapioca starch. I'm using 100 grams of tapioca starch. And also 1 tablespoon of sugar. Okay. Now we're going to process it again. All right, now we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients or the seasonings. Okay, I'm gonna use the egg white from 1 egg. Not the whole egg, but only the egg white. And then the rest of the seasoning, which is 1 teaspoon, around 1 teaspoon of white pepper, and 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm using kosher salt and half teaspoon of baking powder. And it's optional, which is the kaldu sapi or beef bouillon. Okay, if you're using it, use like around like 1 teaspoon. Because I have it, I'm gonna use it. If I don't have it, I will not use it. Okay, and then the rest of the ice. Now we are going to process it again until smooth. Meanwhile, I'm boiling water. So the meat is still kind of cold, not hot, okay, not warm. Check. Okay, the meat is still cold. Okay, we do not want the ground beef to be warm or hot because it's gonna break the protein. Okay, so I think this is smooth already. All right, so I moved the meat into the ground meat into a different mixing bowl. Okay, so once the water is boiling, you want to turn off, okay? And then we're going to put the meatball into the water, okay? So this is how people in Indonesia shape their meatballs, is by using their hands, squeeze the meat, and then scoop it like this. Like this, okay? Scoop it. And scoop it and put it inside. You know, so in order to make a smooth texture, smooth meatball, then you want to cook it into the water that is boiled earlier. But when you put your meatball, you have to turn off the stove first, okay? Until you're done putting all the meat into the water. Then you can turn on the stove again. So use water to help if you want. Keep doing it until the dough, the meatball dough is gone. Okay, so when it's all done, you want to turn on the stove again and cook it for another 5 minutes. And all the meatballs have to float, okay? So I turned on the stove again using low heat. Okay, I'm using number 3. All right, so all my meatballs is already floating. They're all floating now, so I can scoop them and put into a different container. Okay, get the meatball. So I'm going to cut one out, okay, to see. Okay, look, it's cooked inside. Okay. The texture is elastic and it is very tasty. All right, so this all the meatballs from 1 pound of ground beef. I'm using the 92% lean, so you can slice it and stir fry with vegetables, or you can put it into your instant noodles, or make a soup. So I hope you enjoy it and try making it. See you next time.